Look closely at the picture in front of you. No, this isn't a trick of space and time. You have not entered into another dimension where there is no letter B. You have entered the KO2 failure zone.
Well, for certain sentimental reasons.
Teenage Engineering is not going to like this video. I don't even like that I have to make this video, but I'm going to because there is a big problem and it hasn't been addressed. And that is this thing called Fadergate. Oh, and if you haven't spent a ton of time watching KO2 videos, you should know that there's also Speakergate, and Sticky Button Gate, and Scrambled Up Screen Gate, and Terrible Packaging Gate. Okay, that last one probably isn't Teenage Engineer's fault, but hey, let's just dogpile. As you're going to see firsthand in a minute, these are actual things. Some of you may have seen my video from around a month ago on the theory behind the marketing for this blindingly gorgeous piece of kit. It is actually blindingly gorgeous. I made and released that video about a week after Teenage Engineering announced the KO2 on November 22nd, 2023. I had been looking at getting a sampler with some decent functionality, but didn't want to spend an arm and a leg, and the KO2 looked like it had hit the sweet spot. The first bit of bad news came several days after the release when one creator had a bad fader issue. Then there were others, and Bo Beats had a speaker issue. This wasn't looking really great, and I had not even received a shipping date, even though TE's website said that it was in stock when they ran my credit card. The promise of immediate shipment ended up being not true. Doesn't that violate some sort of truth in telling your consumers that you don't actually have merchandise law? When I did finally get a shipping notice, I had seen enough press on YouTube, Reddit, and other sites to know that by this time, Fadergate was pretty real. What I didn't know was that all of those other gates, well, they were also pretty real. A KO2 does eventually find its way to my house a few days ago, in a very well packaged box. But like everyone, I was a bit nervous putting the fader cap on. It didn't immediately go on, so I tried pliers and just ended up leaving it partially on. Then, see that glitching? I wasn't sure if that was an issue right off the bat, maybe just the knob stuck between two values. The second thing I noticed was that the metronome didn't appear on the screen when recording. It took several minutes to realize that I didn't need to press something else to get the countdown clock to show up, because it started glitching on and off. Then, I saw this. Really? Are you frickin' serious? After powering it on and off and still seeing issues, I figured I might as well try the fader, and it didn't work. Pressing down on it and then sliding will get it to work, sort of, but that causes other issues and other graphical glitches. At this point, I figured I would see if the speaker worked because, hey, why not? Well, it does work, but it's weak as heck and really of no use unless you're going to use this thing in a library. Oh, wait, you can't do that. Finally, I noticed that several of the keys were sticking, although this is a little hard to see in the video. And while this one isn't a giant problem, it's a problem you shouldn't have with a new product, and just icing on this badly malformed cake. I'm not sure how I won the Synthesizer from Hell prize, but I did. So thank you, drunk, high, or disgruntled worker who made my unit. You did a great job.
Oh, maybe I'll come down. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll come down.
9097.
Maybe I won't.
All of the things I have mentioned and a few others, like being shipped a unit that you can't turn off, or one that died after turning it on just once, are frankly a big black eye for TE. There have been a few comments about this potentially being only 1% of the units shipped, but the math on this doesn't work. You just need to do some searches to see that the number of problems is very large and varied, and my own unit proves this. If this would have been a well-made product, the odds of my unit having 4 problems would be extremely low. In a semi-perfect world where there are no disgruntled workers, and the rate of failure is only 1%, then the odds of my unit existing would be 1% of 1% of 1% of 1%. That's 1 times 10 to the negative 8th. Not quite to the odds of winning the lottery, but in the same ballpark. Now, I haven't seen anyone else with this many problems on their unit, but if you're out there, then I want to meet you, because combined, our power would be nearly unstoppable. So is this Teenage Engineering's fault? Well, maybe. I have no idea if these are made in-house or if TE uses a vendor to put everything together, and they just receive the product and ship it out like Amazon. But if these are produced by a vendor, and I'm the president of TE, my lawyer would be having some very heated and pointed conversations with the president of that firm, because this smells like really, really poor quality control, like maybe even non-existent. What is definitely TE's responsibility is the fact that they have not addressed this issue, at least since the recording of this video.
If you have children,
Be sure to bury their heads in the sand before you bury your own.
And based on additional internet commentary, it seems like they have had a pretty spotty track record of this in the past. Again, not great because companies that have a bad track record of shoddy communication and poor customer satisfaction tend to just go away. So here I sit, a couple of days after receiving my unit, and I'm not happy. My "Hey, my unit is broken, how do I return it" email has had no response so far. I've been waiting for this thing because I had ideas for a number of beats, and I'll give credit where credit is due. The sounds from the KO2 are excellent, and it is freaking gorgeous. But I've waited 21 days only to have multiple problems. Like seriously, is anyone else having this many problems? Please comment below if you are. No one likes a failure, and I don't wish any ill will on TE, but I hope they will address this and fix these issues quickly. I also hope that you are having much better luck than I am this holiday season, and if you are climbing that mountain, I will see you on the other side.
Sentimental reasons.